And we're delighted for this fella because Sonny Edwards has completed a third successful defence of his IBF Flyweight title last Friday. That did not go unnoticed on our colleague Adam Catterall. Sonny beat Nicaragua's Felix Alvarado, and that extends his undefeated record to 19 fights. IBF Flyweight champion Sonny Edwards joins us live. Sonny, congratulations. How was it for you?
Thank you. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the fight. It was as hard as I anticipated, I guess. In studying and knowing Felix Alvarado as a fighter, I knew he was going to come for 12 rounds. He'd be looking to throw heavy shots at every opportunity, and he doesn't give you a moment's rest. So I think the fight went how I thought it would. I chose to hold my feet in a few of the middle rounds to sort of take away his danger for the later rounds and sort of make sure I got the win. And I thought it was a good fight to be a part of. I thought it was a good show to be a part of.
Good man. I mean, did the judges get it right? 115, 113, 115, 113, 116, 112. What do you think, Sonny?
I don't know, maybe a little bit closer than what I had it or my team had it. I think we had it around 9-3, but I can see why in some rounds, especially when there was probably 4, 5, 6 rounds in a row that I might have won. I can see why they might be a bit critical and praising the work that he did, especially when I had my backs up against the ropes. But I think, for me personally, I think I managed to do a good job of riding and negating a lot of his work and a lot of his effort whilst maintaining quite a consistent level of scoring. I think even in the rounds that you do score against me, maybe, I still think I had a good quality work throughout the round.
Adam, you're a fan of Mr. Edwards, I believe.
You know I am, mate, and he knows I am as well. It was 9-3 in my opinion, maybe an 8-4 last week for Sonny. At the end of the day, it's about clean, effective work when you're scoring a fight. And even though he was on the ropes, tucking up, a lot of those shots were landing on his arms and his gloves. Technically, I think this kid, and I'm not just saying this because he's here, he is the best fighter in Great Britain. Technically, he's absolutely fantastic to watch, poetic at times. The way that he moves and changes his angles, his shot selection is just absolutely superb. If you are a fan of boxing, the sweet science of boxing, the fan of hitting and not getting hit, Sonny Edwards is the guy that you should be buying a ticket to go and watch. I just hope now for him going forward that all the BS in this division, all the politics that kind of stop the big unification fights, I hope that goes away and we do get to see him in with the other champions and the other people that really could cause him not a problem, but actually cause a proper conversation as to whether Sonny Edwards could get beat.
Why does that exist, Adam? All the BS and the politics in this division.
Why would you want to fight Sonny Edwards? People use broadcasters, they use promotional allegiances in order to avoid problems. And with all due respect to the other champions who have strengths, there's no doubt about that. A lot of them are knockout artists. That's what their speciality is. We've seen Sonny through 19 fights now, fight some legitimate top guys, Muritim Umtalani being one of them, a guy that was a champion for a long, long period of time. And they get in the ring with Sonny and they can't figure out the puzzle. So why would you want to get in there and look a little bit embarrassed? So therefore, excuses are made in order to not make fights. But I hope now that we're in a situation where people want to see Bull versus Matador fights, because that's what it's going to be if Sonny Edwards takes on a Bam Rodriguez or he takes on a Cesar Martinez or something like that. And I hope that maybe we can put political and promotional allegiances to one side in order to make those fights, because I think the fans now want to see those fights.
Got you, Adam. So Sonny, who do you want next?
First of all, I appreciate the high praise, Adam, genuinely. Me personally next, I think the biggest fight out there for me and probably the most realistic and reliable to be made would be the Bam Rodriguez fight. I think that's a massive fight. He's previously stated he wants to come over to the UK to fight me. It's to the best of my knowledge, he's got a shot at the WBO world title that was recently vacated by Junto Nakatani. So, albeit he comes through that, I've just cleared my mandatory. I've done everything that's been asked of me every single time. I've tried to make the big fights in between to no avail. I can't just stay surviving at flyweight, fighting killer mandatories for not as much credit or exposure as I probably deserve. So I don't know, if I can't get the Bam Rodriguez, maybe the Martinez, the Dalekayan fights, the unifications, then I'll be looking either down or upper weight straight for a world title fight. I mean, I only want the big, interesting fights that will make a big event. I don't really want, just to pick easy routes or to try and hold out and keep my belt for as long as possible in easy fights. I'm completely sincere in wanting the biggest fights out there for me.
Yeah, quite
so
rightly.
why's the Martinez fight not happened? Obviously, Cesar Martinez has got a narrative with your brother Charlie. Of course, people will know about that. But for years, he seems to have been saying your name. You seem to have been saying his name. Why is that fight not happened? Because he's the WBC champ. And with all due respect to Bam Rodriguez, he doesn't hold a championship belt in this division yet. I know he's done it in the weight division above. But why is that one not happened?
Just to correct you, he's not been mentioning my name for years, but I have. Pretty much ever since he got out of the ring with my brother, I wanted that fight. And it weren't until, well, now the months are going to start blowing me, but it weren't until 7 weeks before the fight got called off that we'd had any interest ever from Martinez. We was asked if we were still interested in the fight, of which we replied, of course we are. We got sent an offer, we counter-offered, and it got accepted. We'd agreed every term for about 6-7 weeks. I was in training, I was working with a nutritionist, I was flying with my coach to other countries to stay with the stable. Everything that I should have been doing to prepare for the fight that we'd agreed. And then they turned around and said DAZN hadn't approved his purse request, so he sat around asking for millions of pounds to fight me down at flyweight, because again, he's someone that doesn't want to fight. So that's why it's hard for me right now to keep holding my breath for that, because I genuinely don't believe that Martinez will fight me for anything. So looking at Bam Rodriguez as probably the next and only option really for me at flyweight. If not, I've got to look elsewhere.
Adam, I'm going to ask a question about Sonny while Sonny's listening. Is there no appetite in this division to see an undisputed outcome as there are in other divisions? Why would there be no appetite for that? I mean, the fighters might want to preserve their own position, but the economics of it from a promoter point of view and the prestige of it from a division point of view.
Of course, there is less money. I don't think Sonny will be backwards and coming forwards. There is less money in these divisions because they are smaller guys, and 9 times out of 10, you don't necessarily get to see those knockouts. But I think from a fan's point of view, undisputed across all weight divisions is something that we're all striving for. And I think there are matchups definitely in this division now. As Sonny just said there, Bam Rodriguez is coming into this division. He's a kid that was light fly, stepped up 2 weight divisions, and became the Superfly champion. And he took on a legend a little earlier on this year in Rungvisai and beat him as well. So there's a lot of hype in and around Jesse Rodriguez, nicknamed Bam, from Matchroom, who he is aligned to, and DAZN. So a lot of people are starting to understand who he is. Everybody knows who Sonny is. So Sonny's right. Regarding eyes and ears on a fight, that's probably the one that absolutely lights everybody up. But for me personally, just because of the old narrative, I love the Martinez fight. Every time Sonny gets in the ring, as I say, it will be Bull versus Matador.
Yeah.
But I love watching that. I love watching it. I love watching standing people on his head.
I've got to tell you, Adam, I've been lucky enough to see Sonny fight twice, and I thoroughly enjoy his performances. Sonny, you know I'm a fan. It's great having you on this lunchtime. Thanks so much for joining us, mate.
I appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Sonny Edwards, IBF Flyweight Champion. We're discussing what's next for him, but he's still, I think, got the best to come.